achieved at the constituency level should be transferred to the, at the national level, so that he can collectively be able to sum up all the results of the presidential candidate. He's there waiting now to be able to announce, because the law allows him to announce the presidential candidate after he has collectively received all the results that have been transferred from the constituency A, B, C, and D to Bomas of Kenya, so that now he's able to announce that candidate A has been able to get this candidate B this, and so the winner is candidate so and so. That is his mandate.
That perception has persisted for a while now, and as I mentioned it,
I like it when you say
many people say that that transmission of results from the constituency to the Bomas tallying center.
Who is having the perception, Fred? Good questions. The one who's having the perception is because if you are the loser, definitely you'll try and cake it in such a way that, it is because of this and this happened. We are on the same page on this platform today saying that the final results are at the constituency level. That is true. Actually, at the polling, this is final, and then they are transferred, and at this constituency, these are the final results. They have to be tallied at a national level at Bomas of Kenya. There's nothing wrong with that. Looking at the question that you asked earlier, Fred, you asked, why is it that when we are nearing these elections and all, sometimes we do amendments in the law? Point number 2 talks about the register should be available 3 months before. Is there a problem with that? There's no problem with that. I would want to ensure that the register is on point. Newton would also want to ensure such that when he looks at his people in Murang'a, even himself and his supporters, he ensures that we are all in this, everything is good. There's nothing wrong with that. Even if it would come even 4 months before, it is a plus to any candidate. There's nothing wrong with that. But all these things, as we speak today, they are within the law. Everything is fine. I think the issue, and you look at the newspaper today as you read it correctly, Gachagua, Kalonzo in bid to change and all that. Why them? Why the two of them? These are people, these are leaders in the opposition currently as we speak. So what is being portrayed is like there's something that is shoddy trying to happen. There's no shoddy in ensuring that 3 months before the elections, we have the register in place. 6 months before the elections, all the polling stations have been gazetted. There's nothing wrong with that. That is the law. And that is the requirement.
To agree with all that. I think the most interesting one is number 3, the one of doing away with Bomas of Kenya, the process that is there. It is the same debate that the late Raila Odinga always had. Open the servers.
Yeah, right. Right. In fact, let me just clarify something. Gachagua and Kalonzo are Kenyans. They have every right to go to court. So you cannot start saying, look, why is it Gachagua and who have gone to court? They have a right. They are Kenyans, like another person. So whatever they are raising is an issue that affects all the Kenyans. Now, let me go back. The biggest problem we've had is Bomas of Kenya. You remember at one time the elections were nullified. Why? Because of Bomas. You remember even last election, several commissioners, about more than a half, did not agree with what the chairman was doing. They had even to move out. Why? It's because there's a lot of manipulation at Bomas of Kenya. It's a known fact. So if we want to cure this manipulation, let the presidential results be announced at the constituency level, so that we know in this constituency, this is what we've got. You remember even last election, the media, you are doing the tallying, but what happened? You are stopped. Why were you stopped? If there's that transparency. The reason why, they knew that you are going to announce certain results, which may not be the same as what is being announced at Bomas. So the biggest problem we have in Kenya is Bomas of Kenya, where the results are being announced. And that's why look at all the elections that we've had presidential. There's no single day we've not had that problem because of Bomas. So how do you cure this? How can we avoid this? It's very simple. If you are talking about transparency, let them be announced at the polling side, which is okay. 2, if you look at whatever is being raised by Gachagua, all these things are there, but they don't have the time frame. That's why they're saying, look, let the polling centers be announced, be gazetted within a specific period. Because we've seen so many fake polling centers, you've seen them being, even schools, we've seen so many schools that are not there, but they always get capitation and review. We've seen so many polling centers that are not gazetted. But you see, there was no time frame for that. IEBC will say we have the powers to gazette them, to allow them to. But if you have a time frame, we only know that during this, in this constituency, these are the polling centers. In this way, these are the polling centers. And they must be within. So anything outside that time frame will not be allowed. So I totally agree with what they are raising, because we want clarity. 2, this is not about the government. It's about IEBC. So I don't know why the government is feeling much uncomfortable with this. We are not talking about the government. We are talking about IEBC. So let's focus on IEBC.
Yes, Gachagua and Kalonzo in bid to change 2027 poll rules is a big headline on the front page of the Daily Nation. They have 5 proposals there. You can go ahead and read on pages 4 and 5 of this paper. Tomorrow is another big day in Parliament. President William Ruto is expected to give his State of the Nation address. He has already given an indication of part of his agenda, at least. He says that he'll use the opportunity to try and convince members of Parliament. Remember, it will be a joint sitting of the Senate and the National Assembly to enact laws to allow for the establishment of an infrastructure fund. And the question is how it's going to be funded. He said, do not worry about that. He knows how to do it. But Senator Nyoto, State of the Nation address is supposed to be something totally different, not for the president to come and push his legislation. What are your expectations ahead of this event tomorrow?
Well, Fred, let me first of all say that I'll not be attending that particular state of address by the president, because I know that over 95% of what he's going to say there are things that he does not even mean.
Don't you think you will be misrepresenting the people of Murang'a if you fail to attend?
I mean, no. I mean, sometimes you choose to just have your peace. You know, Fred, if I know that you are coming to lie to me, I mean, why would I spend my time listening to your lies? I think I would better spend my time doing something more important for me. Because remember, this is not going to be his first State of the Nation address since he became president. I think you will just need to ask yourself, the things that he has said in the past State of the Nation addresses that he has made, how many of them has he, you know, made commitment to or even started doing? And so, but to answer your question, you say why it's supposed to be something totally different, but he's coming to push his legislative agenda. But of course, that is characteristic of President Ruto. He wants to convert anything, any platform, into a campaign platform for himself, while saying others are campaigning. I mean, so, I wouldn't have expected him to just come and give a State of the Nation address without doing some politics and pushing some legislative agenda. And so for me, I think it's just another formality to come there, say things that he does not even believe in himself, things that he has no intention whatsoever of doing. And because it's a formality, at the end of the day, there'll be members there, of course, maybe motivated in a particular way to clap for him, to say Igwe, like they did last time when he said that he was finally cancelling what do you call it? The
finance bill.
Not finance bill. The whatever at the airport. I forget this name.
Adani.
The Adani. Regardless of the fact that they had always supported it, now when he cancelled it, they stood and said Igwe. So you don't expect anything there. You just expect some people there, some members of parliament, from the two houses, to just heap praises on him after having said nothing other than lies. So I will not be attending. I think I have better things to do with my time.
Okay. Senator Mutinda, State of the Nation address.
Correct. We've always had States of the Nation address by the president, and yes, he's spoken and hinted in terms of how we'd want to have a conversation with the representatives of the people. It was not his indecision in State House even said, I need this done now. He's coming to have a conversation. That is leadership, Fred. Dialogue, let us talk. I'm envisioning this. We need to improve in terms of infrastructure. We need to invest in infrastructure, both digital infrastructure, both roads, machineries, and things like that in this country for us to be able to elevate economically our country. Is that not a presidential conversation? He's a Kenyan. I had Baraza when I said the Gachagua and Kalonzo, he corrected and says, these are also Kenyans, there's no problem. President William Ruto is a Kenyan, okay? He is the president, he's a leader. There's nothing wrong with him also proposing that can we be able to have this bill so that we can be able to achieve A, B, C, and D. There's nothing wrong. Secondly, when a leader elected by his own people to represent them, says that, you know what, I can't go and listen to this president who's equally elected like him. He was elected like him. They were both elected to represent. And he says, you know, I won't be able to listen to this leader. Listening is a virtue. And it requires just a mature leadership whereby you just listen, and if you have a different opinion, then you air a different opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. There's nothing wrong. But already having perceptions, then you mislead your people because you already say, you know what, he's coming to say a lie. If, for example, he would be coming to tell us, you know what, I'll be looking forward to work with my brother, Rigathi Gachagua, come 2027. What will be wrong with that? It's just an example I'm just giving. But it is really sad for having been given an opportunity and then you opt not to really represent your people because you don't want to. Earlier I heard my brother say, just hold on it, that, you know, my party leader is Rigathi Gachagua. Today, he's in that seat because he's elected under the party leader of William Ruto under UDA. So why then don't you resign? If you don't want to listen to lies. If you're a different political party leader, why don't you bold out and say, you know, I'm resigning from this party that is led by a liar. I'm resigning from this party that I don't trust this leader. I'm resigning from this party today because I don't want to be associated with this party. How are you still married to this man and you're saying this man is not the right man for me? Bold up and make a decision.
Article 132 of the Constitution provides for the roles of the president, and part 1 of that is on this State of the Nation address and what exactly it's supposed to be. So allow me to read it. Mm-hmm. So the president shall, A, address the opening of each newly elected parliament, that one is done. B, address a special sitting of parliament once every year, and this is a State of the Nation address we're talking about, yes, and may address parliament at any other time. And once every year during this, 1, report in an address to the nation on all the measures taken and the progress achieved in the realization of the national values referred to in Article 10. 2, publish in the Gazette the details of the measures and progress under subparagraph 1, what I've just read, and submit a report for debate to the National Assembly on the progress made in fulfilling the international obligations of the Republic. Now, it's that understanding of the provisions and the necessity of the State of the Nation and the President's own intention that is going there to talk to MPs, to enact a law, to establish an infrastructure fund. Do you get the misalignment?
No, you see, the drafters of the Constitution had a very good intention for the president. Unfortunately, the perception that has been created by the president himself, people don't trust what he's going to say. People don't trust MPs. Look at all the bills that have been passed. Look at, for example, even the finance bill. Wananchi said no, but what did they do? They ended up passing it. People believe the MPs are there to protect the interest of the executive, not the interest of the common Wananchi. People believe that whatever the president is going to say, he may not be able to deliver. That's the only problem. Now, what he needs to work on is perception. Nobody trusts what he's going to say. Nobody trusts that he's going to deliver. So if you look at whatever his campaign manifesto and what he promised common Mwananchi is not what he has done. So the biggest problem right now is not what he's going to say, is do people trust what he's going to say? Do people trust that it's going to deliver? But
don't you think that this State of the Nation address has been converted into a platform for the president to give his scorecard almost in a campaign manner and not really deliver a State of the Nation address?
You see, like as a president, he should be uniting people. He should be the one bringing it together. But now, look, some of like my friend here, he may not be able to attend the function. Why? Because that division. So we should work on a way, how do we reconcile? He should be using a good, like you remember when he was in Machakos, the language he used, that look, our whatever, those are not presidential languages. So the biggest problem the president has is not even delivering, is the perception he has created among Kenyans. 2, the MPs. Most voters don't trust MPs. They believe they are there to push the interests of the executive, not the interests of common mwananchi. So that is the biggest problem. That's why my friend here may struggle to explain, may struggle to convince people. She has a good intention, but the problem is, what is the perception of the Kenyans? How do Kenyans perceive the president? You remember, he used to say, ikifika gas itakuwa ni pesa ngapi, itakuwa ni pesa fulani. He used to walk around and give promises, but he wasn't able to deliver. So they don't trust him. That's the biggest problem. So what I could ask my friend and the president is to work on perception. How do they create the confidence so that people can have the confidence whatever they're going to do? So that people can get excited that, look, tomorrow we are going to have State of the Nation address. We are excited. We want to listen. What is he going to say that can affect us? But you see, most people will not even be concerned. They'll be going around with their own business. So the biggest problem the State House has to work on is perception. How do they create the confidence in a common manner? People can have confidence in the presidency.
Allow me to give each one of you 2 minutes for your final comments. You're not attending the State of the Nation address, yes. But on the other issues that we've discussed, what are your final comments, Senator?
Finally, I think I would want to say, Fred, that the issue of, finishing presidential elections at the constituency level are very important, and that so that we don't have to have bombers. I mean, a big hall with so many people, just
plus a choir.
Just to add the 290 figures, 90, the figures from the 290 constituencies. That is something that the IEBC chairman can do from his office at, I believe, at Anniversary Towers, and just come announce what we already know. So I think that for me is very important, and that this thing of publishing the names of the on the register 3 months before is also something very important. But allow me to say that Senator Tabitha says that it's mature leadership to listen to people even when you don't agree with them. I'm not sure that mature was the right one to say to use, but it's okay. But says that when you are elected by people to go and represent them, then that is very unfortunate that you don't represent your people by listening to the president. I want to tell Senator Tabitha, in case she didn't know, the people of Murang'a, whom I represent, do not want to listen to President Ruto. So if I went there listening to him, I will not be representing them. In fact, my failure to attend that particular sitting will be the best representation of the people of Murang'a that there can be, because the people of Murang'a do not want to listen to any lies from President Ruto. They have had enough of his lies. And so, I would not be representing them if I went there. Then she has repeated something. I wanted to avoid it, but she has repeated it a second time. That why don't I resign from UDA if I think I don't agree with the president? I think Senator Tabitha forgets something very basic. That President Ruto is not UDA. He is a UDA leader. I have not agreed, I have not differed with UDA per se. I've differed with the party leader. The party leader is not the party. A party is owned by members. I am a member of UDA. If I differ with the party leader, you cannot tell me to resign from that party. And finally, President Ruto, whom she supports, differed with the President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018. And everybody was telling him to resign, especially as deputy president, if he was not agreeing with it, not even from the party, if he was not in agreement with the president, because they were in the presidency together. He did not resign. Why would Senator Tabitha, or President Ruto for that matter, whom she represents here, expect me to resign? I want to tell you, Senator Tabitha, Goge Wadiongo wrote, I will marry when I want. Okay. And I want to tell you, I will resign from UDA when I want. Another singer from my community said, I will marry when I want. After all, the Catholic priest has always lived without a wife. Senator Tabitha, I will marry when I want. Okay. I will leave UDA when I want.
He will marry when he wants.
Yes.
Senator Mutinda, final comments. 2 minutes only.
But he's, I think he's married, which is a
I'm just using his words.
Yes, which is a good thing. Everyone is entitled to their decisions, but it's always good that to always remember that our first role is that we represent the people. It is people's representatives. We are people's representatives. My parting shot this morning would really to encourage the young people to do voter registration. The numbers are quite very low. They are not really coming out to register as voters. It's not something to really ignore. It's really a concern, and I want to really encourage them to do the needful. Lastly, Fred, I would want to really urge the Mbeere North constituents to look at Leonard Muriuki, the candidate of UDA, from a leadership perspective. These other narratives that are coming from right, left, and center and all that, for them to just know, those narratives should not confuse them. Let them know that this is the candidate, this is the leader that is supposed to represent them after 27th of this month. And so I really humbly ask them to support and vote for Leonard Muriuki. Let Kenyans also look forward to listening to what the president will be saying. I'm sure he'll be talking about what he has been able to achieve. We were with him last week, the whole of last week, in the eastern region, Ukambani. Remember, apart from representing Nairobi, I come from Kitui region. And President, as we wrapped it up on Saturday at Kitui State Lodge, it took actually an hour to go through and explain all the programs that he had promised in the manifesto. He was able to explain one by one. Okay. And people were very, very happy. And they so want to encourage leaders from both sides to be able to just listen for the sake of ensuring that we forge a goal of delivering for this country, because we have no other home and Kenya is home.
Thank you, Senator. Finally, Zachariah Baraza.
Yes, mine is just to ask the voters and to ask the people of Kenya that, look, elections come and go. These elections should not be used to divide our people. After election, we must come together and work together. Two, I'm asking my Mlembe nation, the people of Western Kenya, that, look, this November 27th election is a defining moment for our people, because it will help us to move away from empty promises. If you look at what happened, they had promised 1,000 kilometers of roads in Bungoma, Kakamega, and Busia. We had nothing. They promised that, look, once they get into office, they are going to buy a new machine for Nzoia Sugar Company. They ended up selling the company. So I'm asking the people of Bungoma, people of Kakamega, people of Busia, the Mlembe nation, to ensure that they vote in Seth Panyako so that he can be our firstborn for the Mlembe nation, for the Tawi movement on 27th of November. So what I'm only saying is that after the election, let's all work together to unite our people. Right. After election, it should not be that since you voted for the opposition, now you have to be segregated, you have to be put aside. No, I'm asking Kenyans that after election, let's come together and build this country. Asante.
Thank you so much, Zachariah Baraza, political commentator, Senator Tabitha Mutinda, and Joe Nyoto, Senator Murang'a County. Karibuni sana, and thank you for your time at TV47 today. Once again, look at the big headlines of People Daily. Kenya 2027, power deals, rising tension, and the fight for